Okay, how about that? Ah, there we go. Thank you, MD Trodev. Thank you for letting me know that. All right, we'll just skip whatever I said. It wasn't important anyways. How are you doing today? Thank you so much. Hope you're doing great. Today we're working on asteroids. What's strange to me is, like, I don't know why you weren't getting the audio from the mic, because you're getting sound and I'm listening to the output of the mic for the, yeah, it's weird. Intro looked impeccable. I'm sure it was great until without the sound. I need like cards to like show up, but just in case. All right, what are we doing? Right, today we've got BBECS set up. Also, I figured out why the GitHub Actions was failing. The reason for that was actually I needed to run a sudo apt update first. If you don't run the sudo apt update, obviously repositories can change. So one of the repositories changed IP addresses, and I don't know if it means like they're now hosted somewhere else or just like DNS changed or something else. But because that, it could install some of these things. By doing a sudo apt update, it updated the repository locations, and then everything worked just fine. So it's easy for me to just blame, Microsoft and whatever repositories they're running on Azure, but really it was my fault. So I updated that. I renamed this to build and deploy finally, and got that out and deployed. So we're running on the latest version of BBECS, and we can see, well, I am just going directly on a path. So Asteroids always has the latest version. All right, so today is updating all of this stuff, and we have 70 errors to take care of today. So to begin with, register now only takes one argument. We no longer have to give it this type. So we can just slowly get rid of these. Okay, there's those. Okay, so then add resource. Now, what are you upset about? The trait bound graphics color is not satisfied. The following implementations are found. Ah, yes. Okay, so in add resource. So in world add resource, we've turned off a lot of these other methods, so we need to fix these. Totally forgot that we had turned off a lot of this stuff. So basically, color. That's what we need to add, is the world methods for color. And under tests here for BBECS, we have just like querying, integration test point. And I think, so what do we have in here? Okay, so we have resource mute, query one components, query one mute. Okay. I suppose something good to add in here would be a function integration test point query query. And then we can also do a query query mute. And then that could replace these querying. because then we can just double check for all the types. All right, so how do we do a query anyways? Let's see, let inner world. Once we have a world, we need to register some new component that we need to insert. So let's do, we could just do point at this point. That should be fine. So do location. After we register, then we can spawn. Okay, with component, this is going to be our name. That's the location, and the data. It's going to be a point. Okay. Then I want to get these out. So that's gonna be let, I guess, like query results equals, it's gonna be a vector. So we're gonna do world.query. It takes a vec of names. So in this case, we just want location. That now gives us a vector of these vectors. So let locations, for example, is this query results position 0. Then we can loop through this and verify that we got the right location. So specifically, let locations of position 0. We should be able to. Can I cast this at this point in time? I think I can. So you're going to be an reference to an RC ref cell, right? And then we can test that assert equal that dereference location is the same as points new. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have to do, this is a wrapped location. That location is equal to a wrapped location dot borrow. And okay, so cannot move out of here. I just want a reference to you. Oh yeah, and I tell you that you're a test. So hopefully this should work. We could run it, double check. Excellent, excellent. And then I want to do a very similar thing, but mutably now. So test query mute. Pretty much everything is the same, except what happens down here is instead of borrow, we're going to borrow mute. That now gives us a ref point of this location. I can now update it. So we can do location.x plus equals 10. I can now, we can wrap this here. So we're gonna do a replication, to recast it out, and we can borrow it again. In fact, we can just do the entire query again, as if it's like a completely different thing. So I can do you again. Except this time I don't need the block. Now we're gonna get our query results. We're gonna get location. We're gonna grab that out. We're gonna cast it. We're just going to borrow it this time. And we're not gonna try to update the location. But now we're gonna say that you need to be 10.0 and 0.0. You need to be mutable here. And you should be fine. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this allows us to now, the query works mutably and immutably, which is great. One query to rule them all. The power of the RC and refcell. Okay, so I want to now take this and duplicate you. Is there a duplicate? There is not. I can just copy you. We're going to create a new file in here. This is going to be the integration s color. And then we're just going to go through and deal with all of these. Okay, integration test, resource. All right, so color. So resource name, you are color. I think what I want to do is actually I could just have this be like a constant. Constant resource name. Then I don't need you here. Okay, so then this is going to be our resource. It can be like 15, oh, 5, 2, 8, whatever. Okay, add resource. This is going to be our resource name. And our data is resource. Okay, wrapped retrieve source. Go to world, get resource. Resource name. We borrow that. It gives us the ref of the resource. We have to cast it. So retrieved source is a reference to a color. Oh, and then this is our resource. There you go. Okay, so that's what we sort of like set up initially. Okay, so that should work for us. What are you upset about? Right, so now it's yelling this, hey, color doesn't exist. This doesn't work. Let's go ahead and do the rest of these too. Okay, so world new. This is gonna be our okay, resource mute. Source So you can be the same thing here. Can I do this? Wonder if I could do that. And then data, you're going to be our source. Source. Okay. We don't need you here. We have a resource name. Okay, wrapped retrieved. Resource. Okay, is world. Get resource. Resource name. Borrow that. Okay, retrieved location becomes source. You are. We have to manually set this. So your color. Retrieved resource. Cast mute. Retrieved resource. Okay, weak plus equals that. We then drop you. We reshadow you, get resource, resource name. Retrieved resource, you're a color. Cast, okay, and then this is gonna be our retrieved resource. Okay, we have to figure out like what exactly you are. Now you can't we can't plus X this, but we can maybe like do R. Like red is added to that red. So I think we increase red. What if I can just do like retrieved resource and like just a new color. And oh, you can't be like, let's do like 0.1. So you were this. So you'd be 0.6 now. Okay, then we don't need to check you. It's single assert now. And you need to be dereferenced. All right, so you're happy here now. Okay, so it's just these two add resources. We're fine there. All right, next up. Component name. Component, you're gonna be our color new. World register, the component name, spawn entity with a component name and a component. Components equals world query 1, component name. Okay, that's fine. We query that out. Now, I'm not even sure we should have a query 1 anymore. I don't know if it even makes sense. Because almost all the time we're going to get multiple things. So I'm actually okay with us completely ripping out query 1. You better be cloning actual asteroids and not some name for a software that should not be anywhere near related to astronomical terms. Yeah, sure. Definitely. definitely. Also, good morning, Mate Morris. We can call them, we could rename the game to Big Rocks. Big Rocks, Bad Physics. Okay, so in query, we're going to register. Let's actually give here. You are our color. Spawn entity with component color. Okay, so then we have to give it a color. Query results. We query for color. We get the location. This will be the colors. Wrapped colors. Colors we cast. Location. This becomes color. Wrap colors borrow. So equal color is equal to. Yeah, you're gonna need to be that. Should be using your software skills to progress man's intentions of becoming a spacefarer in civilization. Not. Well, I mean, what if somebody decides to go work, you know, go work at NASA because, you know, and help out because of this? Then I did my tiny little part. But I'm done working there. I'm happy to be here now. Okay, so that's good. And then finally we have query mute. So we're gonna be color with component color. Everywhere we have this point new, we only have that one place, so that's gonna be you. Query results, query color, locations. So yeah, you get changed. Colors, query results of 0, so that gives us our colors. Okay, wrapped location is our wrapped colors. Right, you become color. Colors cast. Colors bar mute. Okay, so let's change the red of this to plus equals 0.1. The results. Okay, then we query for color again. Colors, color, okay, cast, color, wrap colors, borrow. All right, so then color this color, and then we have to do color, and you're at 0.6 now. All right, so things we learned from this. We should completely rip out a query 1. We don't need that at all. So let's go find that in entity data. Here's query 1. Goodbye. We don't want you. We have query now. Query is better. Okay, which means we can go find query 1, and you go away. And then with integration test color. All right, you're still upset about not having the color type. I'll be there in a second. Until then, we have this query 1 and query 1 mute. So you go away. Let's see. Okay. spawning. Okay, this is testing spawning entities. We're testing a lot of the spawning entities in the other integration tests. So I don't actually know if we need to do any, like, are we doing, like, we're not even testing deleting or anything. Yeah, we're doing this. So I think we can just delete this integration test. All right, so that's cool. And then the rest is you just saying, hey, we don't need point in there. It's fine. We must escape this place before it becomes our last. And first, I mean, I don't know about you. I haven't been to any other planets yet. Okay, so colors not method on world methods. So we need to head back over to mod. Here's our world methods. Hold everything. And here is impl world methods for color. And now bring this back. So you should be unhappy. Okay, so cannot find type color. We'll import you. Okay, so missing add resource, and then also we're missing, let's see, insert in. Okay, we need all the colors in here too. All right, so things are slightly different now. We can see this for this point. The big difference is we have this if let some components, we have to get the components mutably. So that's very similar here, but also just different enough. So if let some components, actually, I think, can I just duplicate this and it would work? No, because push component data. So this is going to be component data color RC new ref cell new, and then data goes inside. So very similar. Otherwise, need to register into. Okay, that's all fine then. All right, it sounds like we could just do this for all of these. So I'm just gonna copy this one, and we're gonna come down and re-enable everything. And the big difference here is the types. So you're gonna be an F-32. And I think that's it. I think that's all we care about. And I realized it would be a lot better if instead of I copied the function, I should just copy the insides of the function. Then there's less for me to update. All I need to update is its usides, and everything else should remain the same. All right, last three down here. All right, imported. Excellent. Okay, so everything's good here. We can come back to our main mod. You should be happier, which means we now need to just implement our missing members, add a resource. So we can do a self dot resources dot insert. You need the name, which is a string. So that could be name dot name already is a string coming in. And then the resource is the specific resource that we're caring about. We have this data. I can't remember. Yeah, okay, so resource, in this case, it's a color. So color, and then I think, yeah, you're just storing the thing inside. So that's gonna be data. All right, that's all we sort of need for that. Oh, I didn't even notice I had this already commented out. We could have dealt with it then. All right, so let's add the rest of these in. So world methods. You're pretty much okay. I could just take all of these. Comment you out, and then all these tests are going away. We don't need them anymore. All right, what are we looking at error-wise? No more errors in here. Let's come back to you. Okay, self.world.update. So we no longer have an update function. That's been turned off. So update happens after we delete entities. So we need to be able to handle that next. Did I just like? Oh, here it is. Here is this update. Right, because we're gonna get rid of delete by index. Doesn't actually make any sense. So we should just get rid of that. Or was... Did I already get rid of it? Retro respond. Okay, yeah, we apparently already got rid of that. So what we can do is come back to our integration tests. We want to be able to delete. Okay, so deleting a component. It's really deleting an entity by ID. All right, so how is this going to work? Well, first of all, we obviously need to create an entity. We should probably create two of them so we make sure we delete the correct one. So let's see. World. Create a new world. We're gonna register some, like, a location. Register, we can give ourselves a location. I don't think we need more than like one component as part of everything. But we can have like 2 locations, and we can like double check to make sure that we're looking at the right one. So register location, then world dot spawn entity with components, location, is our point. We'll have you be zeros, and that's what we get there. And then we'll do a second one. You also get a location, and you're going to point 10. All right, so we have two entities, each with a location, but in different locations. Then what I want to do is I want to query for all the IDs, and then for the one that has a location of 0, I want to mark that one as deleted. So let's do results equal to world dot query. It's gonna be a new vector for location, but then I also need ID. This is a hidden one, and I think I should hub this constant so that I have access to it. So this is going to be entity ID, like that. That's going to now give me, and then I want just a reference to this. Actually, I think, is this fine? Yeah, we're going to get a vector of then the data components. We can now abstract this out so we can have our IDs. What's a reference to query results of position 1. Locations is equal to query results 0. I want to loop through these locations. So the way that we have query now is you should be guaranteed that they're the same length. So we don't need to like do any checking anymore. That's all happening inside the ECS system. So I should be able to iterate through locations, get the index of that, and then figure out which like the point that's equal to this one, I want to then delete with that ID. So let's go ahead and we'll do a for index location in locations.iter enumerate. That gives us our index. And it gives us this specific location. I now need to cast this location. So I can just shadow that. Location, you're going to be a reference to an RC. Ref cell point. Then I have our location. The IDs is pretty well. Okay, I need to cast the ID too, but I probably don't need to cast it unless I actually need to use it. Do I? So I need to just say if our location that. If you're equal to a point new 0.0, 0.0, then I want to get the ID out. So let the ID is equal to, all right, ID is going to be a reference to RC, cell, U size, oh, I think it's a U32. I want to say it's U32. Okay, so this can be IDs of position index dot cast. Oh, RC. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We cast this, and then I need... So you're a wrapped location. Forgot about that. You're also a wrapped ID. And then we can do that location is equal to the wrapped location dot borrow. That now gives us a reference to the point. And then we're going to do the same thing here. We have this wrapped ID. So we can do let ID is equal to the wrapped ID. No, wrapped ID dot borrow. All right, so now we have a ref of this U32. Then, what do I want to do here? I want to call delete by ID on top of here. So if you're equal to that, then we're gonna do world dot delete by ID, which doesn't exist yet. So we're gonna have to add that in. Delete by ID and pass it in the dereferenced ID. So it's just gonna take like the full U32. All right, so you're going to be upset because this doesn't exist. And then after we delete that, we should expect that, oh, we have to run world update. There's your world dot update. That. And then we should build a query for all of the locations. And we should only have one location, and it should be this one. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's wrap this in a block. That way it'll drop all of this stuff when we're done with that. And now I can do it again. Okay, so query results world query a new vector location. I don't need the entity IDs anymore. I don't really care about that. So we're just going to get the query results that are locations. And let's see, equal to, I mean, this is like, these two lines aren't really that necessary. It's just knowing that they're in that order. I could just cast this directly out of here. So I can just do the wrap locations. It's going to be our RC ref cell of a point. It's going to be equal to query results position 0 cast. Oh, I can't cat. Oh, right. Well, actually, no, I can. Maybe. This might not work. Right. Oh, yeah, I can't cast it. Yet. I have to get the first one out. So query results of 0. Okay, so query results of 0. Oh, it was all the locations. And then of 0. Oh, yeah, I totally see that. Okay. Let's call it queried locations is equal to a reference to query results of position 0. Then I want to do that wrapped location. Then I can get just the first one and cast it out. So you're going to be under RC. Cell point is equal to queried locations, position 0, cast you. There we go. And I want you to be a reference. Okay. Then we can now location is equal to the wrapped location borrow. Hello. Come on up. You want me to pick you up? All right, I'll pick you up. We have our kitty cat. Oh, you're purring loud today. Zilby is his name. If you're new here, he sometimes makes appearances. He has the entire house to explore all morning by himself, though. Okay, so we're gonna get that location, and then we just need to verify that the one location, I guess, like we want two things, right? Because like the order is not, I think the order is guaranteed, but like I guess it's not necessarily. So we should do two asserts here. So we can assert equal that queried locations dot length you're equal to 1. And our other thing is we should assert equal our dereferenced location is equal to a point new 10 and 10. That was loud upstairs. Error point. Okay, I think this will work. This will adequately test this out. The problem here, obviously, is that we don't have a delete by ID or update methods, so we have to go add those in. So we're going to come into world and we'll figure this out. So let's unfold these all and figure out where we're going to put them. So I think in impl world we'll just find. So here's update, and I think I already deleted the delete by by, I had delete by index before, but now we're having like the number of components can be different per entity, which means we don't have like a full, not all the components have the same length. So index doesn't make sense anymore. So now we're gonna have a hub function delete by ID. How are we gonna have to do a mute self? I think we are gonna have to do a mute self. So this is gonna have to be mutable, isn't it? No, it doesn't need to be. Oh, right, because this is gonna be cool. We're gonna take the idea, we're gonna query and mark the to be deleted as true for these. And then the ID is going to be a U32. Return a result. And I'm not exactly sure what we're going to return in there yet, so I'll just leave it like that. All right. So what do we need to do? I need to go find, we have a to be deleted component, sort of like hidden component, just like the ID, and we're going to query for that and then update it. So it's basically just like a query. So query results equal to self dot query, and we're gonna need a vec of to be deleted, and then also the ID. Entity.id. We'll grab these out of here. So these are going to be IDs or query IDs equal to results position 1. Okay, so we're gonna extract those out. We need to get the IDs first. So we're gonna loop through those for index and the wrapped. I guess it could be our ID equal to three IDs dot iter dot enumerate. Why are you upset? Because these should be an in, not an equal. Okay, and then also query results. Oh, I don't want to move out of view. Reference. Reference. Yes, I know you're not being used yet. Don't worry. Oh, and I don't want to shadow you. This is going to be the component ID. Okay, so what do we need to do here? If we need to get our ID out and cast it, so let wrapped component ID is going to be this RC ref cell U32 can be equal to our component ID cast. Huh, you can't find it when I do that, huh? Component ID Interesting. Okay, so it finds that there's those cast components. And then do I not have them in here? I don't have them in here. But okay, so components, data, cast components. There you go. Now we can cast it out. Expected struct, found reference. Oh, right, you're a reference. There you go. Okay, so now we have a wrapped component ID. And then we can get the actual ID out. So let component ID, this is going to shadow, but that should be fine. And then we're going to do our wrapped component ID borrow. That's going to give us a ref to this U32, and now we can compare. So if dereferenced component ID, that will give us the actual value. If you're equal to the ID to be deleted, then what do we want to do? We then want to grab the query to be deleted and get this out. So we can just reach in there directly and turn it into this wrapped. Okay. So let's wrapped to be deleted. You're a Boolean, and you're going to be query to be deleted. Of position index, and then I can just cast you. Yeah, I think so. All right, so that gives us that. We can then borrow it. So that, oh, you need to be cast. No, cast is fine. Then to be deleted can now be borrowed muted. We can borrow mute that. We can mark you as mutable. And then we can then say to be deleted. We can dereference you and say you're equal to true. And that marks it to be deleted. So that's our deleted by ID. All right, awesome. Okay, so now we have update. Here's our update function. What update is doing is it's running through and now finding all of the ones to be deleted and then actually deleting them from the hash map. Now we have this like delete by index here again. I don't know if that makes sense anymore. But like maybe it does. Oh, I think this is going to be more involved than I'm thinking. I don't think I'm done with delete by ID. Because delete by ID isn't here. Let's head back to our whiteboard. We haven't looked at it today. Where'd it go? Oh, I moved it over there. Cool. You. Okay, so if we just mark to be deleted like this, that's all fine. Like you become like a false for, you know, this asteroid, let's say, or true. But what if like this isn't the right sort of like line here? We have to make sure that we update the bitmap for this. So when we do an is deleted, yes, we have to update you here. We also have to update you here. What does that mean? Is deleted. Okay, so we have to mark to the bitmap. And I think bitmap has an ID too. I want to also say that bitmap has debug on. It does. So when we do delete by ID, we do this entire thing to mark it to be deleted there, and then we also need to call self.bitmap.delete by ID and pass it in the ID. And so then you're just upset because you don't have a delete by ID, so we'll add you in. Okay, what are we doing here? Delete by ID in the bitmap. We need to come down and set up, and then I think, so I want to say down here in default, yeah, so we bitmap register entity ID and to be deleted here too. So this should be simpler, like this should be relatively simple. It should be not quite as not quite as involved because we have just like an entity map with booleans and strings, and that's really it. Yeah, okay. So to be deleted, we're going to find that in here. So that to be deleted is equal to self dot, what is it? Entity map, I think I called it. Entity map dot get mute, and our key is to be deleted. All right, so if we find a to be deleted, which is to be deleteds, maybe. it's now this mutable vector of the booleans. And I wonder, should I get the... I should get the IDs too, just to make sure, because they're not necessarily going to be in order of the index, because we're inserting, deleting, reinserting them again. So let's do, we also need to get the indexes. Now, if we don't find this, so okay, if let's, we have you, I kind of want to, return an error. Okay, can I do something like this? Let to be deleted equals this. Inside of you, we're gonna just return to be deleted. Otherwise, we need to return like just full out return a new error. And then this is bitmap component not found. And then the string is going to be deleted dot owned. Do that, and there we go. Okay. So that gives us the to be deleted and handles that error properly. Then I also want to do the exact same thing for our IDs. IDs is equal to that let's see, what are you? You are you're not ID, might as well just be IDs, stuff that entity map. This can be just a get. I wonder if I'm gonna have a problem because I'm getting mute and getting. I don't remember if like is that or just the each item in there that it matters. And this is entity ID. All right, so now we have our to be deleted and we have our IDs. All right, what would be next in this? We want to then find the ID in the IDs, get the index of that. So I wonder if I can do like an index of. Like the equivalent of that. I think that there is one. IDs dot, what do we have? There's searches. Is there like an includes? Well, maybe. Let's actually go to the documentation for this GGZ. Okay, so here's this. I want to go into back. Okay, there's contains. Oh, but that's only returns true. It won't return the index of it, so that's not helpful. Returns the first element of the slice, but again, that won't tell me which one it is. So maybe I have to iter to get the iter of it, and then we can enumerate. So if I do IDs.iter.enumerate, that will give me, I could do a find. There's this compare that takes a function. A lot of these are just like functions. So find. Fold first. I don't know if I want to do that. For each. But maybe I do. I can match? That seems interesting. Scan still takes a function. I wonder here if that fold, the fold first, the same as fold, but uses the first element in the iterator as the initial value. Oh, no. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. Okay, no. I thought maybe it would like quit after the first time I like returned a result or something. Okay, so I think we just want to do a find. Okay, we have a predicate, which is going to be our index, and then the ID. Why are you a Boolean? IDs is a vec of bool. I don't store IDs in the bitmap. That's a problem. That's kind of a problem here. They're only Booleans. So we only have index to deal with. That's going to be interesting. Now everything has that to be deleted and ID. So maybe you can get away with like the index of it from one of those. I'm gonna have to think about like how I want to deal with this. I'm gonna undo this. I'm not gonna have this delete by ID in here. I don't actually know if I need it. And in our mod, I'm gonna remove the call for it. And I think I'm gonna spend some time sort of like thinking about how I'm gonna do this, and then we'll come back tomorrow fresh and get the delete working. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the YouTube video.